James Kaufman, World News Report today. Trump still planning to send $2,000 tariff rebate payments to taxpayers. President Donald Trump has said in a recent interview that his administration is still considering sending out $2,000 payments to Americans derived from his tariff revenue. During an interview with Trump on NBC News this weekend, published on February 4th, host Tom Lummis noted that the president floated the idea once again of at least $2,000 rebate checks for Americans for tariff relief, quote-unquote. Tom Lummis noted that the president has several times floated the idea of at least a $2,000 rebate check for Americans from tariff revenue, and asked him, quote, "Who's going to get that, and when is that going to actually happen?" Trump responded by saying that he is looking into it at this very moment seriously, and that he is the only one who can issue payments because his administration is the one taking in hundreds of billions of dollars of money in tariffs. When promised by Lummis on whether he would actually, quote-unquote, promise some Americans could get these payments, Trump said, "At this point, I can't. I haven't made a commitment, but I might make this commitment without elaborating in the near-term future." The president then pivoted, only saying that his administration provided $1,776 per dividend payments to members of the U.S. military in a move that was detailed by the IRS and Pentagon last month. That's our tax dollars, jackass. Dividend payments derived from the administration's sweeping tariff regime was floated by Trump in November 2025 to be refunded to taxpayers themselves. While some White House officials have said that the $2,000 payment would need an act of Congress, Trump signaled last month he can unilaterally issue these payments. He, along with others in his administration, have indicated there would be limits on income and said the payments would be sent to non-wealthy Americans. Quote, "I don't think we'd have to go to Congress, but we'll find out," Trump told reporters on January 20th, adding, quote, "The reason we're even talking about it is that we have so much money coming in from these tariffs." But he added that with the tariffs, the administration will be able to make a very substantial dividend to the people of our country. Last year, Treasury Secretary Scott Bassett told Fox News' Sunday Morning Futures that Congress would need to pass legislation before payments could be sent. Bassett doesn't want the money spent. What a total loser. While National Economic Council head Keith Hassett made a similar comment in November that legislation would be needed to send these payments. Was that needed during COVID? I don't think so. This is worse than COVID. This is Democratic hell. Some Republican lawmakers have said that they would be willing to support legislation to send tariff rebates back to the people. Among them is Senator Josh Hawley, Missouri, who introduced a measure in 2025 that would send rebates to workers, although the payment appears to be much lower, $600 per adult taxpayer and $600 per dependent children, totaling $2,400 for a family of 4. Of course, under Trump's plan, with 2 taxpayers in the family would receive $4,000 in benefits from these tariffs. Trump's tariffs are still being considered by the U.S. Supreme Court, which is yet to issue a ruling on a lawsuit challenging the legality of the import taxes under the 1977 International Emerging Economic Powers Act, or the IEEPA. It's not clear when the High Court is slated to rule on this tariff. Let me say, if they rule the wrong way, it's off their heads. Tariffs could still be imposed by the administration, said Trump and Bissett. Under different authorities, however, Trump has warned that imposing them would be more cumbersome and a slower process without using the 1977 law. I want y'all to know that Bissett is Trump's idol, and he's a multi-billionaire, has no business in government whatsoever, no understanding of what $2,000, $4,000 means to a family. Last April, Trump imposed tariffs on nearly every country in the world and has argued that the United States has been victimized by other nations for decades on trade. In other instances, he said the tariffs can be used to end wars and to put pressure on countries that aren't aligned with U.S. national security interests. That's all been proved to be true. Democratic lawmakers, on the other hand, have been critical of the tariff policies. During a continuous House hearing this week, Representative Maxine Waters, Moron, California, told Bissett that she believed the tariffs have increased prices across the board, including for housing, lumber, and claiming the administration has been waging war against U.S. consumers, but wait, especially African American U.S. consumers, right? Always play the race card if you're Maxine Waters. I truly hope that your, most regularly, small attention span allowed you to listen to what I had to say about these tariffs and these payments. And this is for the Supreme Court. If you decide that these are unconstitutional, we need to know why they're unconstitutional. There's nothing in the Constitution that say we shouldn't be able to deal fairly. Everything's been against the U.S., who have been carrying the world for 20 or 30 years. Unless you're getting paid by another government besides the taxpayer, we want these tariffs plus more, period. God bless. Please share, subscribe, and always remember, anything's possible. Bizarro world.